So you have to take some time off of the gym because you're traveling, you're sick, you're injured, or you just feel burnt out from your program and you need some time to rest. How long is it going to take you before you start losing your gains that you worked so hard for? And I bring this up because I just got back from Japan for 2 weeks and now I'm back inside the gym and I feel like I'm bankrupting all my gains. But how long does it actually take you to get deconditioned? Let's talk about that. First and foremost, let's take into account that most of the studies that have been done are on 80-plus-year-old men or on athletes, right? So there's not a lot out there for the 25 to 60-year-old person who is a general fitness freak or a lifestyle gym goer. So the types of results you're going to see as far as deconditioning is going to depend heavily on your age, your gender, your fitness level, and the reason for your break and how long you actually took off from the gym in the first place. But let's jump into a 2008 study that actually talks about the residual training effect for athletes in particular training goals that are important for their sports and how long it actually is going to last for them. So we look at aerobic endurance, maximal strength, anaerobic glycolytic performance, strength endurance, and max speed. And we're going to see how long did those training effects actually stay in place for each athlete. So aerobic endurance, the body's ability to recover and actually go longer distances. Let's think something like cross country or long distance swimming. We're going to say that that training effect will last 30 days plus or minus 5. So you have anywhere between 25 and 35 days before the performance level that you got to in training starts to creep off, right? Max strength, we have the same thing, 30 plus or minus 5 days. So that tells me that my body wants to do its best throughout my training cycles to hold on to aerobic endurance and maximal strength. Then we look at the anaerobic glycolytic system. So think sports like football, or think something like a 400-meter dash or 800 meter run. That is going to be 18 days plus or minus 4. So we have a little bit less time. Just think inside your mind more like 2 weeks before you start to lose your gains there. Strength endurance, your body's ability to repeat the same output over and over, is going to be 15 plus or minus 5 days. And then max speed, we think about track athletes, 100-meter dash and hurdles and 60 meters and stuff like that. We're looking at 5 plus or minus 3 days. So that's very interesting because we always, as combine athletes or track athletes, we're making sure we're touching top speed once, twice a week to make sure that those athletes can not only continue to progress, but also maintain what they're actually working towards. So how does this affect you and what should you do about it? First and foremost, if you are going to be sticking to a traditional block periodization scheme where you're working on this linear progression and taking 4 weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time to focus on a specific goal like hypertrophy, then strength, then power, then you want to make sure that you have a maintenance day with a minimum effective dose for whatever quality that you're trying to maintain. What I like to do for myself and my athletes, we work on conjugate periodization, where we are looking at making sure that we are focusing on a particular outcome, but always sprinkling in throughout the week and throughout our micros and mesos, the different training qualities that we need to maintain for sport throughout our season. So those are the ways to make sure you're not losing your gains. Definitely make sure you're always tapping into something. And if you do have to take time off of the gym for something more serious, make sure that when you get back, you actually work into your training cycle very easily and don't try to go back to where you were before, because that is going to risk injury. And we'll get into in another video how to actually get back into the gym after being deconditioned. So I hope this helps. If you like more content that helps you program for yourself or your athletes and level up your performance in your sport or your gym, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, drop a comment if you have any questions that you want to ask that we can cover in another video. And like always, outwork the you from yesterday so you can look back and see how far you come. Get better one day, one rep at a time.